The new escape mechanic was just introduced to Eternal Return, but all the character animations are virtually the same. What's poppin' everyone? It's your boy Levi, and today we're going to be fixing all the animations to give them some more personality. I'm going to be going through each character's animation and try and think of some things I would add to spice up each of the interactions. I'll leave timestamps in the description if you want to go to specific characters. Adela is up first, and if there's any character I would pick to have the default animation we currently have, it's Adela. Adela is the peak of efficiency and excellence, so it makes sense that she wouldn't have anything else going on. Adina, celestial theme. I like how she has the celestial spirits spinning around her as she gets in, but they stop. You know those like cosmic space lamps you get ads for on TikTok and Instagram? Wear one of those on her submarine. Adriana, might be hard to find some fire themes underwater. Thunderstorms really stress her out, so I imagine the idea of a submarine is probably horrible for her. Maybe have like her looking stressed and like constantly looking left and right out the submarine. Maybe she takes a deep breath before she gets herself on. Aiden, electricity and water don't really mix well, but I like the idea of him like sparking up before he gets in the submarine. Maybe a slight glow around him as he's taken off. Alec, well, he's from the rival faction, so we gotta change his sub a bit. Make it one of their subs, and it's like he gets the intel he needs and he's now escaping. Aya, the forgetful cop. Aya's been known to leave her gun lying around, so maybe when she's taking off, you just see in the water her gun drifting away with the fish. Barbara, the inventor, that locked herself in her room. I don't think her submarine would be very neat and organized. I think she'd have like gadgets and tools all over the place. Like, I get they're not personalized submarines, but like, what if they were? Bernice, I kind of feel the same thing as Barbara here, like the outdoor version of Barbara kinda. I imagine his sub is also very messy, but it's filled with hunting supplies and traps. Alright, there's no way Bianca can drive, right? Like, you're telling me this little gremlin knows how to drive? I think her submarine shouldn't take off in like a fluid motion. Like, not full on barrel roll or anything, but she definitely shouldn't have a smooth takeoff. Camilo, I think this one's pretty easy. Get some mirrors in his sub. Instead of like checking his rear view mirror and his side mirrors to adjust them for his view, he just like checks his hair. Cathy, she's gotta escape with her medical supplies, right? Can't just leave those behind. But make it like her special medical supply, like her knives and blades and needles, not like stethoscopes. Celine, alright, like having bombs in the submarine is like a bait amp. You know the cool girls don't look at explosions meme? Make that for Celine. Like a giant blast is behind her as she takes off, and she's like propelled by the force through the water. Chiara, how do I add her trauma into this? I think maybe same as Adriana, where she gets like super nervous, but instead of water, it's like she's maybe being shipped again somewhere. If you don't know her lore, make sure you click the card above. Justice for Nina. Chloe just leaves her behind on the island. Like, whose decision was that, Nimble Neuron? Hashtag justice for Nina in the comment section. Obviously Nina has to come, but I don't want her just like sitting in the passenger seat. I want her in like a scuba mask, like riding on the top of the submarine, or just like hanging off the side by Chloe's thread. Daniel. I don't know what you could really do with Daniel, really. He's kind of just a dude obsessed with hair. Like, maybe make the interior feel like a barbershop? I don't know. I don't really have much ideas for this one. Echion. He's from the island, right? And has never left. I really like the idea of him just having like no idea where this submarine's going. Like, maybe he has a map on his lap and he just gets like really frustrated that he has no idea where to escape to. Elena. No way Elena drives her own sub. Elena has like a butler that comes picks her up in her special sub. Have her in like the passenger seat with like this generic butler that drives her off. 11 is totally live streaming this like a whole event. Like, I know she's known for her mukbang streams, but she could definitely record a vlog as she's leaving the island. Also, put a giant burger hammer in the back seat. Emma, I think you put her hat in the passenger seat, right? And then have like a little bunny sitting in it. Like, she gets all her magic trick props. Like, the dove can be like sitting on the shoulder of the seat, or maybe it's like flying around the submarine frantically. I just think she should have her animals with her. Estelle is a firefighter, so you know those like fire boats that are used to put out fires from the water? Just make her sub one of those. Put like a siren on top, a ladder on the side, fire truck colors even. Have her shield in the back seat too as she takes off. Ava, psychic kinetic powers, right? Let her steer the sub with her mind. You know that pink glow she has when she's opening boxes from a distance? Have that glow around the steering wheel, and then have her just like relaxing and then taking off and steering it with her mind. Felix, I tweeted about this one. Why is he cheesing like that? I got some interesting replies already, so let me know on Twitter what you'd put in his sub to get him smiling like that. Fiora, kinda similar to Adela, she's focused on excellence, so maybe some fencing awards in her sub? Like a bunch of certificates and medals maybe? Okay, so this is the crazy one, right? Hart has her amp in the submarine, which means everything I've mentioned prior to this can be done. And I'm glad she has her amp. She's like the only one with a personalized escape. I also like the idea of her like listening to like the Eternal Return theme song over the speaker. Hyejin, you know those like dangling things people have on their rear view mirror in cars? Like sometimes it's like an air freshener or a charm or some beads. I think Hyejin would have charms dangling from hers. Hyunwoo, now he's got the backpack in the original skin, but as you see here in my Street Fiend skin, he doesn't. In the original, he wears it while sitting in the chair, and I'm like, nah, he definitely throws that in. He like sends it at the wall and it just falls to the ground. Isol, ooh, this is a hard one. I feel like his identity is traps and bombs, but like not in the same way Celine's is. I don't know, I don't really have anything for this one. Maybe because he's so young, he can like barely see over the steering wheel. Like all the characters kind of portioned the same height, so maybe just make him tiny. Jackie, serial killer. Lots you can do with this one. Weapons in the backseat are easy, but if you want to get dark with it, I like the idea that there's someone scuba diving and her sub just speeds through them and rips them in half while she laughs. Maybe like a little bit lighter, it could like rip through the tether of a scuba diver that's like connecting them to the boat. It kills me that Johann has his gloves on. Like at first I was like, obviously he needs to take them off and put them on the seat next to him. But I like the idea that they're just his hands now. And he gets really frustrated trying to steer with those gloves on. Also put his championship belt hanging on the wall and maybe a photo of him with his arm raised standing over an opponent. Jenny, I know she's supposed to be like a B-list star, but I think you can bump her up to the A-list for her escape. Have paparazzi with a camera scuba diving trying to get her picture while she drives off in the sub. We can all pretend like they're waterproof. Johann, super easy. I'm not sure what religion he is, but just have him do a prayer before he takes off. Put a book of whatever religion he is in his lap and then have him close it when he's done. Boom. Easy. Karla, okay, I have a wild idea for Karla, but it might not be implementable. She's a pirate, so like she's gotta have her own ship. Make it slightly a longer cutscene than all the other escapes, and instead of her going up to the submarine, she's just like, screw it, and then hops on her own pirate ship and leaves. Okay, Laura needs a hostage. Maybe it's another test subject, maybe it's not, but I feel like it's fitting if she has another person tied up and gagged in the backseat, as well as some maybe legendary supply drops that she's hauling off with her. Lenox, gotta have a fishing sub. Probably pretty hard to fish underwater, but I'd still fill the sub up with fishing gear. Spare rods, tackle boxes, maybe a pair of rubber boots even. Leon, okay, he's literally the human torpedo with a scuba skin. I guess it doesn't really make sense to have him swim off instead of using a sub, but throw some scuba gear, some surfboards, some swimming awards. Make him look super happy too and super comfortable in his element. Dailin, similar to Bianca, there's no way she can drive straight. She's drunk. Now's the time if you want to do a full barrel roll, you can. I'll support that for Dailin. Luke, gotta have the cleaning equipment. Make it like a branded commercial work sub. From the outside it's commercial with double L on the side and a phone number, but inside it's got all his assassin gear that he hides. Magnus, he's got the bike in the backseat for sure, and he just doesn't understand that the submarine doesn't work the same way as a bike. He's like twisting the side of the steering wheel, like trying to rev up the submarine as if it's like a Harley. I think that his facial expressions are already perfect too. Okay, like Elena, she definitely doesn't drive herself, but I don't think she has a butler driver. I like the idea that she gets like one of the test subjects to drive her. Like she's in the passenger seat just relaxing and lounging. Markus, okay, you know this big old bitch doesn't fit in a tiny submarine. Make him squished and cramped, and just like have his head turned sideways on the roof so that he fits. And make it like a Viking war submarine too. Nadine has no idea what a submarine is. She's feral and just adjusted to the social aspects of an island. You're telling me she can drive too? Nah. Have her looking out the window with like both hands pressed against the glass, looking at the fish and amazed that she's moving so fast like a little kid. Then have a wave of panic come across her when she realizes she has to drive the thing. There can be blinking warning lights on the dash too. Nathapon. I imagine he already has a ton of scenery photos, but probably not a lot of underwater shots. I'd probably put some camera gear in this submarine, and then like every window has a tripod. You can get different shots at ease this way. Nicki, this might be a little unrealistic, but I think you could have training equipment in the back area. Like maybe a punching bag or some other stunt equipment. I don't know, I don't really have that many ideas for Nicki. Piolo, he's kind of new still and I don't really know much about him. I know he's an orphan from the slums and is all about making the best out of what you have. Maybe his sub is a little bit more run down. He doesn't have anything fancy for sure. And maybe he has some uniforms hanging up to relate to his voice lines. Priya, aw, what if she had like a little bot in this sub? Like she's managed to find a way to grow her plants in a submarine and they're just all flourishing. She's always singing too, so have her sing to herself as she takes off. Priya, she's obsessed with charms, so I think there would be a lot of charms in her submarine. Similar to Hyejin, she probably has some hanging from her rearview mirror. However, hers aren't like fate-driven like Hyejin's are. They're probably just cute toys. Rozzi, chocolate addict. Gotta have copious amounts of chocolate in her sub. Hot chocolate in the cup holder and her biting a chocolate bar looking super happy as she takes off feels fitting. Maybe even a chocolate fondue tower in the back? Joichi. Oh, I have a really good one for this. I feel like he sits down in the sub, right? And then there's a picture frame on the dash. He picks it up and then the camera changes so that we can see what's in the picture frame and it's just a picture of his daughter. He then sets it back down and then has like a determined look as he takes off. Sylvia. She just thinks her sub is a racing sub. Like Magnus, her bike is probably in the back, but her sub has racing stripes and her colors and maybe her number on it. Maybe there's even a spare propeller for the sub, kind of like her spare tire ability and racing theme. That'd be cool if they had like a little pit crew with scuba gear like sending her off and there's like tools floating in the water as she takes off. Cicella also can't drive. Her sub is just a hospital room. A nurse is driving her off, and instead of being in a passenger seat, she's in the passenger bed with an IV connected. I guess it could be Wilson, because I don't think he appears in any of her skins. Sua's submarine is definitely a mini library. She's got bookshelves all in the back, and maybe even a reading area. Also, is Sua really short or something? All the characters look mildly the same size, but Sua looks tiny in comparison. She's like barely even seeing over the steering wheel. This is kind of what like I imagined for Isol. Tia. I have trouble gauging Tia. I'm not sure if she's like a giant mess of a painter or really neat and tidy. Like she has unfinished paintings, splatter on the walls, snap brushes, or would she have it all neat, like easels lined up and cleaning stations for her brushes? I like the chaotic option more though. William. Same with Jan at first, I was kind of against him having his gloves on, but I think it's kind of hilarious that he just leaves it on the drive. I think you could also do something similar to Shoichi looking at his daughter, but maybe a photo of William and his brother. You'd also probably have a team photo on the back wall. Chukai. Like Markus, this big bitch is too big to fit comfortably in the sub. Gotta squish him in. But also, he's gotta be eating, right? Like, give him little takeout boxes of the food that he prepared on the island. Open a to-go box and it's fish and chips, and then just have him munch. Yuki, honor student and whatnot. Academic awards all over the wall. What's he in? Kendo? Some kendo swords in the back, I guess, all perfectly aligned. I also think Yuki only has his button-down outfit, but like 10 of them. So maybe just like a coat rack of the same button down that he has. And finally, Zahir. The whole thing is just full of potatoes. He's got like a bowl of mashed potatoes on his lap and stuffing his face, french fries on the dash, butter fried potatoes on the passenger seat, and he just like has every potato from Lumia Island in the back. Like he just stole them all because he thought they were the greatest thing. Thank you so much for watching if you made it through the whole video. It ended up being a really fun idea for me to come up with. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for any characters. Like the video and subscribe for more videos similar to this one, and I'll see you in the next one.